In 1992, French intellectuals called Disneyland Paris a cultural Chernobyl. Last month, the French president stood in front of the park and called it a national treasure. Something changed. Disney just spent €2 billion turning their worst park into what might become their best. World of Frozen is only the beginning. A 118-foot mountain of ice, a Viking village in the suburbs of Paris, and a strategy that's been 8 years in the making. This is Disney Adventure World, and it's far from finished. Walt Disney Studios Park opened in 2002 with little fanfare and even less ambition. For years, it was the park Disney barely wanted to talk about, a collection of soundstage facades and off-the-shelf rides, half the size of its neighbour and often half empty. Critics called it a missed opportunity. Fans called it the weakest link in Disney's global chain. The numbers told the same story: underwhelming attendance, a reputation for being skipped by travellers, and a brand that felt like an afterthought. Now, that same plot of land has absorbed a €2 billion investment, the largest Disney has ever committed to a single European site. The plan doesn't just add new rides, it nearly doubles the park's footprint, pushing out the old boundaries and pouring resources into infrastructure, themed lands, and a central lake designed for nighttime spectacles. The name is gone too. Walt Disney Studios Park is officially erased from the map, replaced by Disney Adventure World. This isn't just a facelift, it's a public admission that the old formula failed, and a bet that a new identity, one built around adventure, global storytelling, and headline intellectual property, can finally make the park matter. The stakes are as high as the budget. If this transformation works, Disney Adventure World could go from Europe's weakest gate to its most ambitious. If it doesn't, €2 billion becomes a monument to missed potential. Adventure Bay redefines the centre of Disney Adventure World, both in scale and in purpose. The new 2-hectare lake does not just fill space, it pulls guests out of the old grid of disconnected paths and into a sweeping open promenade. Here, the boundaries between lands blur, and the park's flow changes completely. Instead of shuffling from one indoor show building to the next, visitors now orbit a waterfront lined with terraces, walkways, and panoramic views that invite lingering, not just passing through. The real draw comes after dark. Disney Cascade of Lights transforms Adventure Bay into a living canvas, using projection mapping, synchronized fountains, and a fleet of drones to choreograph stories across water and sky. The show's centerpiece, a custom barge weighing 160 tons, anchors the spectacle, supporting massive lighting rigs and water effects that can be seen from every angle around the lake. The technology is invisible to most, but the effect is unmistakable. The entire park seems to breathe with the rhythm of the show. This is more than a technical upgrade. By creating a central gathering place that links every major land, Disney has engineered longer guest dwell times and smoother crowd movement. The lake's design is not just about spectacle, it is a strategic reset, making the park feel bigger, more connected, and ready for the immersive lands that now branch off its shores. North Mountain rises above the horizon, 36 meters of sculpted ice and steel, its peak crowned by Elsa's palace. The mountain's LED-lit facade shifts colour as daylight fades, throwing aurora patterns across the land after sunset. At its base, the village of Arendelle unfolds in a tight cluster of timbered roofs and hand-painted rosemaling, every window and sign echoing Norwegian folk art. Cobblestone paths wind through the square, past storefronts and bakeries down to the edge of Arendelle Bay. The water here mirrors the Grand Lake of Adventure Bay, tying the land visually to the park's new centerpiece. Mountain Frozen Ever After, Arendelle Voyage, anchors the experience. Boats launch from the harbour, gliding through snowy forests and into a valley where trolls appear in swirling mist. The ride's trackless system, powered by magnetic guidance and water jets, weaves through scenes that blend physical sets with projection-mapped snow and animated characters. Each boat holds up to 8 guests, and with dispatch intervals of just over 20 seconds, the system can move around 1,000 people per hour, crucial for managing crowds drawn by the land's headline status. Inside Elsa's palace, a suspended carousel of ice crystals spins above, while a wind tunnel simulates the heart of Let It Go. Trackless tech blends with tradition at every turn. The meet and greet pavilion for Anna and Elsa uses adaptive lighting that reacts to each guest's face, making every encounter subtly different. Interactive elements spill into the streets, A plush troll named Runa unlocks augmented reality quests, and Olaf himself, animated by an AI-driven robotics engine, roams the village, responding to the mood of the crowd. Every detail, from the mountain's programmable auroras to the seasonal snowflower festival, signals a land built for constant renewal, not just a single moment of spectacle. Frozen's power at Disneyland Paris isn't just about spectacle, it's a calculated move rooted in the region's cultural DNA. The story draws from Hans Christian Andersen's tales, and in Paris that connection is more than a marketing line. Senior creative producer Michel Dendolk put it plainly. Frozen has its roots in European storytelling. It is loosely based on Hans Christian Andersen. Placing a northern European timber village-style land in Paris makes narrative and cultural sense. Every detail, from the hand-painted rosemaling on Arendelle's shopfronts to the timbered roofs and snowy cobblestones, is designed to feel native, not imported. That authenticity doesn't just win over critics, it builds a bridge between Disney's brand and European guests who once saw the resort as an outsider. But cultural fit is only half the play. Disney has committed to a living land strategy, treating World of Frozen as a franchise platform that can evolve alongside the films. The land is not static. Seasonal overlays and new story beats are already mapped out. A major update tied to Frozen 3 will arrive in late 2027, and another expansion is scheduled for Frozen 4. This approach answers a problem that has haunted theme parks for decades: the risk of building entire lands around stories that age out or lose relevance. Here, the land's infrastructure is designed for rapid refreshes, with programmable lighting, modular set pieces and interactive technology that can be reskinned as the franchise grows. The result is a park that stays current with the cultural moment, extending the life of Disney's most valuable intellectual property while giving guests a reason to come back. This is more than a Frozen land. It is a test case for Disney's entire approach to intellectual property in the 21st century, where the boundaries between film, merchandise, and physical space are deliberately blurred, and where the park itself becomes a living, breathing extension of the story. The next chapter is already mapped out. By late summer 2026, a Lion King Flume ride will open along the lakeshore, promising animatronics that move with twice the nuance of anything in Paris before. The following spring, Wilderness Explorer's Sky Swings, Disney's first up-themed attraction anywhere, will take flight, blending kinetic motion with interactive badges and a live orchestrated score. Further down the pipeline, Marvel Heroic Quest is set to arrive in 2028, designed as an interactive dark ride with real-time guest choices that tie into the next wave of MCU films. Pixar Playhouse, a modular playground and gallery, rounds out the slate by 2029, aiming squarely at families with young children. This is not just a parade of new rides, it's a calculated answer to the thin roster that defined the park's early years, and a direct response to the looming competition from Universal's Epic Universe. Opening in Orlando with a price tag of $5 billion, Disney's investment of €2 billion in Paris is less than half that, but the strategy is different. It aims to build a park that can flex and grow with its IP, not just overwhelm with spectacle. The current lineup may look sparse, but every opening is timed to keep the park in sync with new films and cultural moments, ensuring that Adventure World is always in the conversation. The arms race is on, and for the first time, Disney's European gate is playing offense. In 1992, French newspapers branded Euro Disney a cultural Chernobyl, a radioactive threat to the nation's artistic soul. For years the label stuck. Intellectuals dismissed the park as an American intrusion, and politicians kept their distance. Fast forward to 2026, and the scene could not be more different. President Emmanuel Macron, standing at the ribbon cutting for World of Frozen, called the expansion a catalyst for French tourism, cultural exchange, and regional employment. His speech was not just ceremonial. He cited the creation of around 1,000 direct jobs tied to the new development, and pointed to a tourism sector where Disneyland Paris now accounts for 6.1% of national revenue. The numbers tell a story of economic gravity. What was once ridiculed as a cultural misstep now draws state endorsement and public investment. The irony is sharp. A park once feared as a threat to French identity is now celebrated as a national asset. The question lingers: how did a cultural Chernobyl become an engine of prosperity, and what does that say about the evolution of Europe's relationship with Disney? Disney's €2 billion gamble is more than a spectacle, it's a signal. As Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 approach and Arendelle's village grows, Disney Adventure World becomes a living laboratory for Europe's imagination economy. The real question, can any rival match this scale of cultural reinvention? Let us hear your thoughts below.